All right, it is Monday, April 1st, 6 o'clock. We'll call our meeting to order and start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we'll have the roll call.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Hollister.
Yes.
Coolman.
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
All right, next we have an approval of tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Got a-
Second.
Got a motion by Colister, I think, and seconded by Coleman. So we have no discussion. Take the roll.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Hollister.
Yes.
Coolman.
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Next, we make it to presentations. Do we have anyone who wants to make a presentation?
Mayor, we have to go over public participation,
public
item
par-
5 first.
Okay. Public participation. Is there anyone who'd like to get up and address the council? Would you?
Sorry?
Are you here for the public participation?
Yes.
Oh, please come up.
Yeah, hi, everyone. I'm at 408 Western Avenue across from the development, and I just realized with the construction this week that they changed the plot plan. They're flipping the houses facing western toward western. And so that means people are going to be exiting on Western, which I think is probably offers a little more of a safety concern because those houses should have been on Forest, on the new road Forest, exiting that way. So it just brought up a question to me about how did that change and how did it seems like a pretty substantial change from the plot plan of the houses on both sides of the streets facing each other. And now a couple of my concerns are not only more driveways exiting on Western, which can be busy at times. Also, the utilities have ripped up and are redoing work, so I don't know if the developer's paying for that or, or if we're paying for that. And so I just really want to understand how that got changed. And lastly, he just said, I think it's probably going to make the houses on the other side of the street harder to sell because now out of their front door, they're going to be looking at somebody's backyard. So, it's not like there were no impact. So I just really want to understand how that got made, how that changed and what approvals got done for that, or if it was even required an approval. I thought it was fairly significant departure from the original plot.
Go ahead, Josh.
Vince, what's your last name for the record?
Oh, Rutigliano?
Your-
It's Rutigliano.
Okay, I can provide some context. So what was given to council before was a plat map, didn't show driveways or anything. So the plan as it's proposed and what you don't see yet is on the west side of Forest Drive. There's 14 parcels on that plat map.
Okay.
7 of those parcels are being made into 8 duplexes. And those would have walkout basements. The one that's being built right now does not have the walkout, but it will have a basement at least.
Okay.
That builder is under advice that that's what's selling, and that's the model they're trying to follow, at least right now, to start some cash flow into that subdivision so that they're successful. The city is not paying for any utilities being moved whatsoever.
Okay.
That's all private money. The trees on that side are being kept. And so it was their impression that having those parcels combined in such a way would eliminate those trees potentially. So they're having those cuts in between those trees and trying to save them so that there's some protection there, and that sidewalk is present on the Western Avenue side.
Right.
If keeping that frontage on those sides for the duplexes allows the homeowner there, the to-be homeowner, to assume that sidewalk, and we have a number of sidewalk issues in the first place. There will be a sidewalk
okay.
issue. So the sidewalk on the east side will be present for the homes that end up being built over there. But, so Brad, Coranda, and I both made this decision, not the city council.
Okay.
We believed it was in our authority to do so, but you're looking at the person responsible for making that decision. And it was mostly rooted also in being business friendly as well, because this person really does need to succeed here, and I hope he does. There are other driveways along Western, including yourself, and then more along the road there. And I don't disagree that that has some added risk to cars pulling out. It's possible that the council might want to invest in some speed tables at a later date. But I think that with Brad and I, and knowing the situation and knowing what our city's position is to try to spur successful housing here, I was faced with the decision to allow the modification. I could have brought it to a council committee. I did not. Maybe I should in the future, but both Brad and I both believe that that was within our scope of authority.
Let me ask if you don't mind. So say again about the trees, because I think it's a duplex that got the foundation built.
Yeah.
They took down the evergreens, and those are pretty mature evergreens.
Right.
So what's the plan for the rest of the trees?
So as I understand it, the trees that are not on the driveways will stay.
Okay.
So, you know,
okay.
I'm picturing basically half driveways, half trees,
Yeah,
down the line
yeah,
for about
yeah.
7 properties.
It looks like the driveways are marked out now.
Yeah.
And, yeah, just, you know, I was honestly shocked to see the trees coming down and they're cutting the driveway. I'm going, what? So I said, are people going to be able to go both ways onto Forest as well as Western? That would be unusual, but
Right.
yeah. Okay.
Well, he intends to keep the trees, and I know that was a concern. But
Well, yeah, obviously. And, you know, I didn't know if there were any setbacks, but the house that is currently under construction, that foundation looks fairly close to the
it's as
sidewalk.
close as it can get.
But I'm sure it's
Yep.
within the minimum distance, but it's probably not by much.
Yeah.
But, okay. Yeah, no, one of the things is just, you know, I turn in and out of that driveway all the time. And given that there's a dip in the road, there's a lot of times when low cars, like, you know, a lot of the foreign smaller cars,
Sure.
you don't see them till they're almost right on top of
Right.
you. And then with other people exiting there, I just thought, wow, that's not
Yeah.
it's a little unusual. I think it is a little bit risky. Hopefully, you know, it won't amount to anything, but, okay. All right, well, you know, it's fine. I'm happy that the trees will stay.
Right.
But, okay, all right, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mayor, since we're on this topic, and I've explained about as much as I could on this, I could take questions on this if anyone has any.
How many driveways you think will be, like, so
At full build out of those duplexes, 8.
8 driveways on the summit, or on the Western Avenue?
That's correct.
Would
And
those be the only ones, like, say further down the road, if others get built, will they all be allowed to connect to Western, or just those
I think
8?
they could, but based on the duplexes, you mentioned that 7 properties are turning to 8, and then duplexes are being built, you're looking at 8 driveways. If you go out there currently, or before anything was cut up, there were at least 2 entrances towards the southern part on Western due to the old apple orchard or something that were already cut in there.
Okay.
So
Anybody else?
I have a question about then sidewalks on Forest Drive.
We're requiring it on the east side of Forest Drive.
Just on the east side.
That's correct.
So these houses won't have a back sidewalk.
That's correct.
So in our whole point of having sidewalks and the design of being a walkable city, we're gonna end up basically stranding one side of that street by flipping everything.
Well, our impression of that is that the western sidewalk would serve as their sidewalk.
Yeah, I get
We
that,
c-
but
I
now
understand.
it makes Forest Drive have a gap. So, I don't know. It seems, was that on the plat at all, like where the sidewalks were gonna be? I mean, it just seems to me the drawing, maybe it didn't, it just like, I imagined it, but.
Are all utilities moving to the back?
Jen, we did discuss this at department head on the utilities. Do you recall the utility.
Water and sewer go out the back. I was not very happy about it. I talked to Brad about it. He said there's a 5-foot right-of-way behind the curb where there will not be a sidewalk, and the curb stop will have to stay in that, so. Yeah, water and sewer go out the backyards.
Isn't there a sidewalk on the east side of Forest Drive?
Well, there will be once all the homes.
Right, so it'll be in an L, so there will be a sidewalk throughout that subdivision.
Yes,
It's just not on the west side.
that's
So
correct.
To Mark's point, there's still a continuous sidewalk.
Yeah,
Yeah. True. It's just, there's a street, I mean, the street obviously cuts it, but there's
the-
still a continuous sidewalk.
but now we're gonna end up with houses that are on each side of these duplexes, and they're gonna say, oh, I've got a sidewalk to nowhere, so I don't wanna build a sidewalk. You know,
How many houses are going on the back side of these duplexes?
How many of our lots are?
There's,
are 20?
so 7 parcels of 14 are turning into 8 parcels, so you're still dealing with a whole row on that side.
Gotcha.
First off, we're dealing with property 1. And we can go to the developer and say, we're requiring a sidewalk on that west side too. It's just the future homeowners will have 2 sidewalks to care for.
but who was gonna care for it when the house was flipped the other way, where we're still having a sidewalk on Western, weren't we?
That's the homeowners.
That was still gonna be the homeowners, so
Yes.
they were still gonna have 2 sidewalks before, now we've just eliminated one of their sidewalks.
Part of when I asked the question, because this is the topic of the town right now. And part of the question, part of the answer I was given was something to do with the elevation and the walkouts on these duplexes. And I'm like, it didn't make sense to me that they got flipped to begin with, but I was under the impression that if they didn't do it this way, there was some sort of berm that was gonna have to be put up and it created a drainage issue, is what the answer I was given to from Brad. So at that point, I kind of stopped, but I'm telling you, everybody in town's talking about it, so.
Yeah, you're right.
You're not the
Yeah,
only
all
one,
on.
Vince. And I knew exactly when you sat down why you were here, you know. And my only argument to the driveway thing is your driveway comes out onto Western, right? But it's just a goofy thing. I agree with you 100%.
And a large part of it for me too.
Vince, could you come up so we can all hear you?
You know, visually, the evergreens that are there, I mean, they offer a perfect visual block from Western and, but I also think that depending on how many driveways are gonna empty onto Western, yeah, you know, obviously we'll know after a couple of years if there's any accidents resulting from that. But with the way that road dips toward, as you go toward Platt, and smaller cars, I mean, honestly, it happens all the time when I have to like race into the driveway because I see, you know, like a little spider or midget car or whatever, and you just don't see them till the last minute, you know. Anyway, so, thanks.
Thanks, Vince.
Anybody else have anything?
Are these all consecutive properties? Where the
Yes.
duplexes are gonna be? Why did they think it was a good idea for those properties to face the opposite way of everyone else in the neighborhood?
I mean, I don't know the exact answer to your question. He's also under the advice of his realtor telling him what sells in this current market. And that's where we're at the moment. And the elevation, if you look at the land, you can see a little bit of what I'm talking about. If not allowed, it would just be it'd be slab duplexes, no basement, nothing. It'd just be, you know, probably your typical 2-bed duplex on each side.
Then the homes on the other side of Forest are going to be looking at the back side of, with the street.
That's correct.
Right, okay. I think that would cause a little bit of a problem with selling the empty lots.
I mean, it's on him ultimately.
Yeah, it is,
it's
but
not-
But I agree. I mean, that was, all this I brought up last week. I was getting all kinds of comments about it. And I think it's nuts, but
I mean, to be perfectly honest, if I was a buyer, I would not want to buy a property to put a home in and look at somebody's back door. I just, you know, facing to me as a more community feel, but I know that, just.
I mean, I
me
want
saying.
them to succeed. I guess that's
Yeah.
why I kind of dropped the argument, because if this is what's gonna sell, but, and we haven't had any complaints that I'm aware of from that new homeowner that's on Forest Drive, so I think it would be, they'd be the first complaint, but I haven't heard anything, so.
I haven't heard anything. Okay. Anything else? We'll move on. Vince, thanks for coming by and talking with us.
Mayor, at this point, there's another item for public participation if you
Okay,
would like that done now, or we can go to the item
well, go ahead.
agenda. You can save this letter
Okay.
for the item on the agenda or have me read it now.
Why don't you read it now?
Okay.
This is when it'd be normally read.
Mark Beck, reference golf cart ordinance, March 29th, 2024. Mayor Tom Meserly, members of Maquoketa City Council. Dear Mayor and members of council, I'm writing to question the current decision of the council regarding golf carts on our city streets. I made a few phone calls, and it appears that Maquoketa is the only town in Jackson County that does not allow golf carts on the streets. Similarly sized towns in surrounding counties also allow them. I spoke with clerks from DeWitt, Anamosa, and Monticello. They directed me to their city website, and I easily found ordinances that allow golf carts. I questioned the reasoning behind the current position in Maquoketa. Over the years, I've driven numerous times in all the above-mentioned towns and have never seen a golf cart on a street, let alone found that it caused a problem, so I doubt we would see dozens of carts impeding traffic, mowing down pedestrians, or creating a nuisance of any kind.
Josh, could I interrupt just for a second? We've never had a letter from someone read during the public participation, so I'm curious. We do get other correspondence from people in town that are named to the whole thing, so is that gonna be going forward, what we do is read all of the correspondence, or did it specifically ask to have this read during public participation?
In this instance, this is the first letter that I've received. He asked to have that included in the council packet, which is why I distributed this letter to you all. In my experience in DeKalb, when a letter was received like this, the mayor or the city manager read it. And so prior to this meeting, I had asked Mayor Meserly how he would like this handled. And this was the desire, and also the desire of Mark Beck. So if there's more that would come by this method, I would read them, or the mayor would read them, and I wouldn't have any issue with that.
All right, please continue. Thanks.
If safety is a concern, has there been any investigation into statistics regarding accidents involving golf carts? We currently allow electric bikes, scooters, and skateboards, some of which are motorized and are far more subject to operator injury than a golf cart. We have mopeds driven by 14-year-olds, and I'm sure the accident rate on any of the above is far greater than any injuries involving a golf cart. I would propose that you could restrict golf carts using Main and Platt streets with the exception of crossing at intersections. You could require them to yield to overtaking traffic, have working lights, and turn signals into horn. They should also be registered with the city with an appropriate fee similar to an ATV. Allowing the carts can promote a positive image in several ways. One, it promotes a leisurely atmosphere. It signals that our town values a relaxed lifestyle, which can be attractive to residents and the visiting public. Two, it is a cost-effective alternative transportation. People can benefit with mobility challenges or disabilities and allow them to be more inclusive in the community. It could be a potential startup business for someone wishing to sell service or rent golf carts. It demonstrates a commitment to environmentally friendly transportation alternatives, which can appeal to environmentally conscious individuals and families. Overall, allowing golf carts on city streets can contribute to a positive and vibrant image for a small town, highlighting its friendliness and commitment to an alternate transportation. Maquoketa has come a long way recently with the addition of a local brewery, a beautiful facade program, and a soon-to-be renovated green space for the public to enjoy. So let's continue on a path of positive thinking and cultivate a brighter future for ourselves and those around us. In closing, I would ask you to keep an open mind and reconsider the issue. I think you will find that, like a recent controversial subject, chickens, no one would be adversely affected and someone may actually benefit. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Okay. Next, we move on to presentations. We have no presentations. We'll go to public hearings. We have no public hearings. Item 8 is our consent agenda. Item A, it's the minutes of the March 18th, 2024 regular city council meeting. Item B is bills payable through April 1st, 2024 in the amount of $973,039.50. Item C is a renewal Class C retail alcohol license filed by La Casa de Pancho. And that's it.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion by Colister, seconded by Bennett. We have no discussion, take the roll.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister,
Yes.
Coolman,
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Bennett. Yes. Simonson.
Yes.
Rick Earl.
Yes.
All right, that passes. Item 9 is old business. Item A is an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances to the City of Maquoketa, Iowa by amending provisions pertaining to ATVs, Chapter 75.05, and this is the second reading.
So moved.
Motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Lyon. And if we have no discussion, take the roll.
Colister,
Yes.
Coolman,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett. Yes. Simonson.
Yes.
Rick Earl.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item B is an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Maquoketa, Iowa by amending Chapter 70.03 parking violations, and this is the second reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Colister, seconded by Bennett. Any discussion? And take the roll.
Coolman,
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Bennett. Yes. Simonson.
Yes.
Rick Earl.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item C is an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Maquoketa, Iowa by adding new stop signs on Bear River Drive, and this too is the second reading.
So moved.
Motion by Colister, seconded by Coleman. And if there's no discussion, take the roll.
Alinger.
Yes.
Bennett. Yes. Simonson.
Yes.
Rick Earl.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Coolman.
Yes.
Okay, we move on to item 10, which is new business. Item A is an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Maquoketa, Iowa by restricting golf carts. This is Chapter 78, and this is the first reading.
So moved.
Motion by Lyon,
Second.
seconded by Rickrell. We have no discussion, take the roll.
Bennett. Yes. Simonson.
No.
Rick Earl.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Colister.
No.
Coolman.
Yes.
Alinger.
No.
Passed.
It passed, all right. That passed. Item B is a resolution approving a joint resolution letter with Ayers and Cooney in the partnership with the Maquoketa Community School District. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. This item's, besides the content itself it represents, but this is just a legal representation letter with Allers and Cooney. We have not had any adverse relationship whatsoever as detailed. There's a transaction that we're aiming to conclude at Little Bear Park, where the north and far west side of the park is largely acquired by the school. There's a sale price that will be disclosed in a public hearing shortly. And we're just seeking to have this move forward in a consistent manner under one attorney house. Approval recommended.
Were they the ones that uploaded the ordinances too?
No, that was Simmering and Corey.
Thank you. So moved.
Okay, we have a motion by
Second.
Colister, seconded by Bennett,
Caroline.
or
Alinger.
Alinger, I'm sorry, Alinger.
Okay.
If we have no more discussion, take the roll.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rick Earl.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Coolman.
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Bennett. Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item C is a resolution approving change order number 1 with REGA Engineering in the amount of $20,000 for independent expert review of services on the Platt Street project. Go ahead.
Mayor, Council, this one's related to a previous payment item that went on the 318 agenda. This is just a reconciliation resolution in order to get this contract into position of where it was. So I don't know what's coming by way of potential depositions in the Platt Street case, which is why I put this 20,000 number in and communicated that with Riga Engineering. There's a pretty fair chance here that that extra 6,777 isn't touched, but we've already approved the payment at the prior meeting, you may remember, but this is just a reconciliation for that change order payment.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by Simonson,
Second.
Second.
seconded by Alinger. If we have no discussion, take the roll.
Rick Earl.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Coolman.
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Bennett. Yes. Simonson.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item D is a resolution approving the maximum tax dollars from certain levies for the city's proposed fiscal year 2024-25 budget.
This is related to our 5:30 public hearing that we had. Nothing further. It just approves the $12.74 levy rate that we discussed.
So moved.
Motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Bennett. And if we have no discussion, take the roll.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Coolman,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett. Yes. Simonson.
Yes.
Rick Earl.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item E is a resolution approving a bid in the amount of $16,988 from Huber Fencing for the Grove Street Ball Fields fence replacement.
So moved.
Motion by Coleman,
Second.
seconded by Alinger. And if we have no discussion, take the roll.
Colister.
Yes.
Coolman,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett. Yes. Simonson.
Yes.
Rick Earl.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Okay, that one passes.
Can I make one comment on this? When they're in town, are they putting a bid in on that water tower?
We intend to contact them when they're in town, but that has been on my mind, is doing that, yes.
Okay, anything else? If not, we move on. Item F is a resolution setting a public hearing date of April 15th at 6 PM for proposed fiscal year 24-25 budget and CIP.
So moved.
Motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Coleman. And if we have any discussion, take the roll.
Coolman,
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Bennett. Yes. Simonson.
Yes.
Rick Earl.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item G is a resolution approving MDM Properties at 101 South Main Street, a downtown incentives grant up to $15,000 for upper story housing, facade, and consultant program.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Colister, seconded by Lyon. Any more discussion? Take the roll.
Alinger.
Yes.
Bennett. Yes. Simonson.
Yes.
Rick Earl.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Coolman.
Yes.
All right, that passes. Item H is a resolution approving a master agreement with the City of Maquoketa and Maquoketa Municipal Utilities.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. This agreement's been a long time coming, since 1992. Councilman Lyon, a representative of the MMEU board, and I met with their managers to refresh this agreement. A lot of operational things have changed. A lot of office staff needs have changed, but I think it's impressive that this did last quite a while. And so I did provide the old agreement and the new one that's proposed, and can take questions on it if needed. Some of our main issues that we had were defining what exactly is the common area, making sure that we have a 50% share of City Hall costs, with the exception of 30% for gas and electric, but everything else is half-half. Billing for operational materials, having an in-kind agreement for any equipment that we might need or MMU might need. So we might need their bucket truck for banner hanging at any point if there's something else that might come up, or they might need something of Frank's to get a job done. Overall, this has been approved by their board already, and it's just seeking your consideration and approval so we can move forward.
So moved.
Okay, we had a motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Bennett. And if we have no more discussion, take the roll.
Bennett. Yes. Simonson. Rick Earl.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Coolman.
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
All right, that passes. Move on to item I, which is the discussion and possible motion accepting a bid in the amount of $351 submitted by Paul Durkup for the Horseshoe Pond Boat Dock.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Lyon, seconded by Rickrell. Any discussion? Take the roll.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rick Earl.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Coolman.
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Bennett. Yes.
Okay, that passes. Next, we make it to reports and communications. Anybody on the council have anything to report?
I do. A few things, 3 things. First one would be May 18th is the community cleanup. It used to be called like Parks Cleanup Day. We've changed that to a community cleanup. So what's entailed of this is a multitude of different things that between the Parks Board, Property Maintenance Board, we gather a list of things that need done mostly at the parks, but this year we want to spread that out a little bit and offer services up to about 8 community members that have like brush that they need removed or help removing brush. We won't be cutting down trees. We're not mowing any lawns, but basically offering for them to either have a brush pile like at their like the front curb, where that we could schedule times to pick those up and then, of course, take them to the city waste for the brush stuff. I offered to be the contact person for anybody that wants to call and see if maybe they qualify for us to do those. In addition to the community cleanup, we go around the parks. There's a lot of painting that needs done, mostly on Fridays before the cleanup day. The high school kids generally do a lot of painting and help out, which is just amazing because they do such a great job. A lot of it will be using wheelbarrow shovels. We could always use extra ones of those. We meet at 7:30, starts at 8 o'clock. They send you to different parks, and we're gonna take mulch and put it under. And I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but there's a lot of trees that need the mulching. The playgrounds need mulching. And that's just simple maintenance that's done yearly, and it takes quite a bit. But breakfast is being served, so they have coffee, I believe, from Scooters. It's donated from Scooters. And then donuts, and that's, about 7:30, 8 o'clock, that'll be there. So it'll be there waiting. So you can go have breakfast, get an assignment, send you on your way, and then at 11:30, they order pizza from Casey's, and that pizza feeds everybody after the day's work's done. I definitely encourage everybody to bring some shovels and show up and help out, and generally, we have some pretty good show-ups, but I'd like to see more people show up.
Is that?
This will be at the
meeting
horse.
point?
The meeting point is at the shelter at Horseshoe Pond, the one by the church. There's another one far back by the pond. So we'll meet there, 7:30. On the 18th, it's a Saturday. And then, of course, if you guys know of any like elderly neighbors or people that have trouble removing brush, you can give them my contact information, or they can look it up on the City of Maquoketa website and contact me, and we'd like to start getting a list done. And if they don't want to contact me and you want to give me their information, I can touch base with them. And then, on the 18th that morning, we'll set a time slot on when we're going to do pickups or help or assist at different houses. So, and it could be as much as like raking, but like I said, we're not going to cut down trees, bushes, mow lawns, just a little friendly helping remove, some of that built up stuff. So I think, I'm just reading my notes, make sure I don't forget anything. Okay, the second thing I want to brush up on is Horseshoe Pond, as we know, is going to growing a ton of reservations and renovations, and Public Works has done an amazing job about building a walkway around it. On the 27th, for an order that was put back last October by the Isaac Walton chapter here in Maquoketa, for fish to be delivered to Horseshoe Pond. We've been trying to stock it every year through that organization. The money comes from money that Isaac Walton League has raised, as well as a bunch of very generous donations that have come in helping stock this. So on the 27th, my husband Brian over there, he's the president of the Ikes, we put 200 pounds of catfish into Horseshoe Pond. Some of those catfish are about 5 pounds. They're huge, so it'll be a lot of fun to catch. One of those catfish is a little over 5 pounds, and it's got a tag on the dorsal fin of that. It'd probably be pretty hard catching it, but to try to get people to go out there and explore and take advantage of fishing there, my husband and the Isaac Walton League had offered, if someone catches that fish with that tag on it, to take a picture of them with it, contact us, and he's already bought a fishing pole rod and reel for the person to do that. And if that person wants to put that fish back, we'll offer more gifts for catches after that as well. So it's a little incentive to go there. We'll put a post up there about contact information too. We'll put it out there at the Horseshoe. But so 200 pounds of catfish and 400 bluegill were put into that pond on the 27th. That's a huge, huge number. So I'm excited. They're hoping to have that done, April 15th?
May 15th is the
May 15th.
objective.
To have that done with the fountain and the new docks. So definitely go down there and check it out. It's pretty exciting. And another thing is, there's a group on Facebook. It's called Maquoketa Gardeners, and I've brought it through the Parks Board. about opening a community garden. A lot of our bigger cities, DeWitt has one, but theirs is mostly for, a gentleman owns land and he plotted it out for people to come build a garden that don't have the means to. The community garden we want to do here in Maquoketa would be at the north parking lot area of Fifth Ward Park. It would consist of raised garden beds. If somebody can't plant in their house or their yard and wants to plant stuff there, we'll have raised beds. The city nor the Parks Board aren't being funded for any of this. It's all strictly donations and those of us that are in the community garden group. I've also reserved 10 fruit trees to be put up there as well. But we're not quite sure when that's gonna take effect. We're still in the planning, but I just wanted to bring it up. So if anybody was interested, it's the Maquoketa Gardeners Facebook group where they can contact me and kind of join our little group and get that going.
Okay.
Anybody have any questions?
Sounds like you're keeping busy.
Yes, it's been a lot. I'm sorry I took up so much time. I just wanted to get all that out.
Okay, well, thank you. Anybody else have anything? City manager?
Just have a plug for the April 6th, 2 p.m. kind of unveiling of the green space plans and the fundraising group. That's at the Maquoketa Art Experience, 2 p.m. this Saturday.
Okay,
Nice public event.
should be. Anybody else?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn by Coleman,
Second.
seconded by Bennett. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned.